Today I'm going to show you how we can set up OpenAI models within Azure environment. So Azure comes up with a service called as the AI Foundry. So we can search for the service, and within AI Foundry we can create the AI Foundry resource. And within these different Foundry resources we can configure different models. To start with, we go to AI Foundry and we say create a new resource. Within this, there are few parameters like resource group, which is nothing but a grouping of multiple resources. So I'm just using already one, but we can also create a new one. Next, we start with a unique name for this Foundry resource. Now, if that resource is already available, it will give an error. So in this case, I'm just going to make a change and then we will set it up. One more thing we need to set is the region, and the second last option is the project name. It is nothing but used to specify some metrics and all and grouping of resources. Once done, we will just create and this will take it ahead for creation of this AI Foundry resource. Okay, Foundry resource is nothing but again a grouping of the models that we can specify. One team may have one Foundry resource with specific access to models. Other team may have other Foundry resources specific access to models. Now, once we are in the Foundry resource, Foundry comes up with a separate portal. So within this resource, once it is deployed and available, we'll just say go to the Foundry portal. Now within Foundry portal, it is all like comes up with different options for setting up any AI project. Okay, it comes up with options for playground, catalog of different models. We can create agents, no code agents, templates, fine tuning, guardrails, evaluations, all of it. It also specifies API keys that we will see like how to leverage the API keys and also endpoint. Those are two important things. Next, let's see how we can set up the model. Now this is where we come to models and deploy new model. Deploy doesn't mean you're actually deploying a model, but rather you're just saying this Foundry resource can have access to this model. You just link it. Okay, it doesn't mean actual deploy model. You just link it. And it comes up with all the different latest models. Latest being GPT 5.4. We will just go with GPT 5.4 mini. Now we say deploy, and within deploy there are some options like this is one of a customized option. We can define what is a quota that this resource or this model can have within this Foundry resource. Okay, we can specify. This will cut it off to only this many tokens in a minute. Request, how much requests you can do, how many tokens you can access, all of that you can specify and just deploy. Now, once you say that, this is where you'll have all the options and how to access the endpoint, the key, and also you will see a lot of code details, direct Python based code details, REST APIs, all of it will have an option where you can use to access the model. We will see how we can use it with the LangChain. Okay, but I'll just show also one more thing that it doesn't just come up with the OpenAI models, but also a lot of other open source models are also available that you can use it on a token per like based on the tokens usage, input output tokens. It comes up with Claude, Kimi, Grok. So all of those other different models like DeepSeek and all are also available. So if you want to leverage those over that token per usage per token based access, then you can even deploy these models and leverage them. So now what we'll do is we'll just go to the collab and we'll try to access this model. So even before, let's just see the documentation. I'll implement it from the scratch. So first thing, what we will do is this is the details which we will require now to set it up. Now we'll just search for LangChain Azure OpenAI, which will give us complete description as how to access this model. So this is a documentation page. Now first thing we need is a library. So this library, we will try to set it up in this case. Okay, so this will install the library. Till this is getting installed side by side, let us set it up the secrets. Okay, there are different secrets which we need to configure from the model that we are deployed right now before we can actually access it. Okay, let us see what all secrets are required and how do we set it up and where to pick it up. So there are four secrets which are required. One is API key, there is an endpoint, there is a API version and a deployment name. So these four secrets will set it up one by one. We use this get pass because this allows us to keep it secret, only take the value from the user and don't have to hard code the keys within the code. So you can use this get uh, get pass method, which will not make it hard coded in the code. So now we will set up this four different keys which are required in this case. Okay, one by one. So now let's see like where do we access it from. So to access like this keys one by one, we will run it. Then through the run, we will go to the portal again and I'll show you where this four different values are available to us. Okay, let's just set up the deployment name. That's it. Now we will run it and put the value one by one. API version. Okay. So first thing, the API key. API key is one is available directly here and also over the overview page it is available. Same key, we can pick it up here, enter. Next is we need endpoint. Now endpoint see can be available in multiple places, available overview. So this is where Azure OpenAI, like multiple endpoints are available. So this is more for Azure OpenAI based access endpoint. So this is available. Now let's look at the API version. Every model will have a separate API versions if available. This you can find it in two different places. One is in the endpoint, target URL you will find it. Second, in the code example also you will be able to see it. So we feed it, enter, and then we'll go to the deployment name. This is nothing but when we deploy, this is a name which we are giving. This name can be different, doesn't have to be exactly model name. You can even give it any value when you are deploying it. Once done, now we will create an object of Azure Chat OpenAI through which we will be able to connect to this model. Internally, it requires like all of those four parameters, but we can just specify right now those two parameters in the object. Other two, it will be able to pick up from the environment variables. So we are giving deployment name and the API version. Now this object is ready. Now through this object, we will be able to send the prompts to the model and get the prompts response. So lm.invoke is the method. And from this, we can send the input prompt like tell me about agents in two sentences. So once we run it, we will be able to see the result from the LLM. Okay, so this is the result. Now we can just store it in a variable and just do dot content and we'll be able to just get the prompt. On top of it, it comes up with a lot more details, how many input prompts or output prompts. There are a lot of guardrails internally. It will just define all of those and that's it.